All right. Hello, 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 everybody. We are in early tonight, right? We're in early. Hey, Robin, number one girl. Hey, PT and chat. Hey, hey, hey to you, girl. Good to see you in here. And Walter, you number two. Number two in here tonight. There we go. Deputy Sheriff number three. All right. Yeah. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. And Robin, nope. You are already number two. Number one. Number two was Walter. Number three, Deputy Sheriff. Let me get on down through here. Somebody had to be four. There it is. LJ. you you are number four. Right? God bless. God bless. PG, you get it right. I get it right. Hey, Lady Q, good to see you. Hey, PG and everybody. Hey, hey, hey to you, girl. And let me get down through here. Right? Andy looks like he's been wearing his mother's sunglasses again. You are hilarious, Deputy Sheriff. That is funny. Hey Keys, how you doing, sweetie? Hello, PG. Much love to you, girl. Much love to you, Suzanne. Good to see you. 1956. There's Anna. Oh, there's Australia. How you doing, sweetie? PG, much love to you, girlfriend. You know it. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see who else is in here. There's Brandy. How you doing, girl? Good to see you in here. Jolly Life. There's Brandy. Molly. How you doing, Molly? Good to see you, girlfriend. Lady Q says, thanks for being early tonight, PG. Hey, girl, you are welcome. You're most welcome. I am shocked. I'm shocked. I'm always late for everything, right? Always, my whole life, always a dollar short or a minute late. Right? It was always okay with me. It was always okay with me. I figured I'd be late to my funeral too. Right? Like 20 years late, maybe 30. Yeah, Lord's willing. I hope he is. All right, you guys, listen. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm waiting for the people. Come on in, come on in. You ain't gonna want to miss this, right? You're not gonna want to miss this one. They some new light shining. Some new light shining in Summer's case. Mm-hmm. Sure is. I was like, whoa, you got to do tell, PG. You got to go do tell. And I'm going to be doing the do tell tonight. Yeah, I found out something important about Andy. Something important, you guys. And that's, this is why we want to keep these people out here. You want to keep them out here. Don't, best thing to do is to let these, anytime a child comes up missing, keep all the suspects out here. Keep them talking, keep them moving forward. Don't be telling them, you need to stay away from all of this. You need to, don't be telling them that. Tell them, come on out. I want to talk to you. We need to talk to you. We like to hear you. Bring it on out here, friends. Right? Keep them talking. Because the more they talk, the more you learn. You shut them down, they're not going to, if you go shut them down, well, you just shut the case down. That's what you did. You didn't do the child no favor. You done the suspects one, but you didn't do the kid none. When you shut, you shut down the case. When you tell these people, to quit talking, to quit being out here, what kind of like Tim Mullins is doing with the Wells, he's protecting them. That's protecting them. When you tell them to stay, stay off YouTube, stay away from all of this, you're protecting them. You're not helping the child, the missing child, or the missing person at all. We need these people to talk. The more these people talk, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to understand, what possibly happened to that child, the better chance you got of actually, finding out what happened and able to bring this child home and get justice for it. You can't be shutting people down. But there's a lot of people, that try to tell these people, why are you on YouTube? This, and you tell them, come on out here to YouTube. We love to see you out here on YouTube. Come on up on a panel. We want to talk to you. That's how, that's how a lot of these cases end up getting solved. Right? You really love the kid. You really care about the child. You will keep those suspects talking for the sake of that child, to get all the information you can, every slip up you can possibly achieve for that little kid so it can get found. I used to go, go into these YouTube channels, like when Jose's really talking a lot, and the creators are hushing him up, you don't want to say that, you might not, and trying to be his damn friend instead of letting him talk for the sake of the child. You got to quit that shit. Stop it. Let that mother freaker talk. Don't be telling him, don't be trying to be his friend, his buddy system, or anything else. You got a hold of one of these people, let them talk as much as they want to. Matter of fact, help the child out by asking questions. Ask as many questions as you can think of to get answers for this baby. A lot of people, don't understand that. I don't know what they're thinking. Makes me just shake my head like, what the hell are you doing? What's going on here? Who are you for? Are you for these missing kids? Are you for these number one suspects? Who are you for? Don't coddle these people. Let them talk. And that's what we need. But, you had Cher coddling and hanging up on the Wells and everything else. And all you're doing at that point is protecting them. You're teaching them, what they should and should not say, what they should and should not talk about. And I mean, we don't want to educate these bastards. We want to let them run their mouth and get all the answers we can to help these missing kids. We're not their friend. We're not their friend. Just let them go. Let them talk all they can. Let them slip up. That's what law enforcement's looking for, is slip ups. Law enforcement works long, hard hours, believe it or not. They work some long, hard hours on these cases. And to get every piece of evidence or every piece of, anything they can use to help find these kids, to help figure out what happened to these kids. And law enforcement, that's why they really don't like YouTube. They really don't like YouTube because, YouTube does them no good when they're shutting down the suspects running their mouth and it could be some good stuff that can be used, and then all of a sudden click. Oh, I ain't going to let them be exposing, all their personal life. You guys, I hung up on them. No. You were supposed to let them talk. You're supposed to be trying to get everything you can for the missing child. What are you doing? You're not supposed to sit there and, you know, oh, don't say that. I don't think you want. Let them say it, right? Let them say whatever they want to say, as much as they want to say, however they want to say it. And you be keeping notes, because that's what's going to bring the child home. That's what's going to help figure out, what you're dealing with, and then you can, find some strategies to possibly, move in and get some answers that you, in other ways that as for law enforcement can move in. Law enforcement can move in and get some answers in different ways that, they didn't think about until they were, understanding exactly what they're dealing with. You got to understand what you're dealing with before you know how to approach it and actually get the answers you need out of it. And that's what they're looking for at YouTube for at the beginning, but they kind of stopped doing it because of the way, they wasn't getting nothing, because these people were shutting it all down, and that don't work out well. Angel says number 58. There you go, girl. Right? Right? You know, Benny, I gotta say, Benny was one of those people. He didn't know how much he didn't know how much he was helping out when he didn't even know he was helping. Right? He didn't even know he was helping. But, you know, but he was, he, he was a real, help in the YouTube community where missing kids were concerned. He didn't even know, but he was. Hey, Australia, super sticker. Hey, girl, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. God bless. Absolutely. I appreciate that. APG. Hey, Linda. How you doing tonight, sweetie? Good to see you in here. But yeah, yeah, he was. He was forever. Absolutely. He was, he was a big help. And Benny let us understand, for instance, I didn't ever see Benny really, in any other case other than Summers. I didn't ever get the opportunity to really, view him up in any other cases. I know he was pretty, adamant in the West Boys case and doing some real, um, real stuff in their case, right. He was really going too far in that one. But, I really didn't get to, be able to view him in other cases, and how, I didn't come out here covering any cases until Summers. So, but I did get a good view on him in the Summer Wells case. And, Benny was, I don't know if he knew he was helping or not. Probably he didn't know, but, he was laying down a real, um, a detailed profile on Candace and Dom Wells, and, what type of people they was. Because, see, Benny Keys, he's from the hood, and, he's a bad boy, right? He's what they call the bad boy. And, by being a bad boy like he was, he fit right in with them, which, allowed everyone, including law enforcement, to understand, how to stereotype the Wells now. He also was, you know, when he said, if you talk about, he got Candace up there and said, if you talk about Summer, we're not talking about Summer. And if you do talk about Summer, we're going to time you out. And if you keep doing it, we're going to, totally eliminate you from the chat. You're not going, you're going to get the boot. And so, he kind of, that was even better. That was even better that, he was allowing us to, understand the Wells even further and what they don't want to talk about. And, having a missing child, Benny was showing us that you got this mother, that was totally afraid to talk about her child. She wasn't about to talk about what could get her put in prison. That's my opinion. But she was willing, but she wanted to show her her true self, who she truly was, by coming up there and wanting to just chit chat and party and talk and flirt and and do her thing with her missing daughter and 3 boys in Child Protective Services. He was giving us a real detailed description of who Candace freaking Wells really was, right? And how she operates and how she thinks and, and what motivates her and doesn't motivate her and so forth and so on. So, I don't know, like I said, if he knew how much he was truly helping, but he really was. And in more ways than I'm sure he ever thought. And that's a good thing. These are things that, are very good to know, because now you know what you're dealing with, and, you know how to approach and proceed from there. And that's, that's what's needed. Oh, that is so sweet. Spread the love, Molly. I missed having you and your funny sense of humor. Oh, yeah, we miss Molly. Molly's not here. We miss her. Right, Karen? That he is. That he is. He is posting. He is posting all over the place. About how they unlawfully took the kids and all of this and that and one thing and another. But we all know the truth. We all know the truth. To that whole situation, that whole scenario, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. In our book, is that we know the truth. And Child Protective Services isn't law enforcement anyway. It was really law enforcement. It wasn't really Child Protective Services taking his kids. It was law enforcement that got those kids took. Child Protective Services sometimes I don't know how to do their job until law enforcement steps in and says, look, you need to do your damn job. Right? We don't want number 2 on our hands. We already got number 1. We don't want number 2. In Lily and Jack's case, it would be, we already got 2. We don't want number 3. That's why, the baby Meadows is, taken away and put into foster care right now, because 2's already missing. They don't want number 3. And they won't be getting the baby back as well until they're able to clear themselves with law enforcement. Also, you got to clear yourself with law enforcement. If you want to keep your children, you got to clear yourself early on in an investigation, right? You got to show all the signs all the normal signs of someone who didn't do anything or wasn't involved in what happened. And most people ain't able to do that unless they wasn't involved. And law enforcement knows. They know, by your actions, they know pretty fast if you were involved or you wasn't. They got their, if they start having high suspicion, then it's probably, they're probably right. And they know it. And they know it. And they just, they just continue to, beat that particular path until, they get the answers needed to solve the case. She got caught in a lie from Ernie. He asked her on a live last night if Dawn ever showered with the kids in summer, and she said no. Oh yeah, she didn't just say no. She's like, oh my gosh, and acting all out and ignorant and putting on a real show. And I'm going to tell you something. She knew exactly what was going on under her roof. Matter of fact, in my opinion, she took a bribe. Which was that new vehicle to keep her mouth shut, right? She took a bribe from Donald to keep her mouth shut and to keep allowing what was going on to go on. Andrew's like, I like my women big. Keeps my warm in the winter. Shades you in the summer, right? Shades you in the summer, keeps you warm in the winter. I'll tell you. Yeah, you like your women big. You sure do. We've seen them. All right. The proof is sure in that pudding. All right. Mommy says, I bet Andrew has either slept under his woman or on top because there is no way they both can fit in the bed. Yeah. Yeah. And the looks of his women, I have to agree. In my opinion, that is a true statement. A true statement. Andrew's women have to pick him up and carry him over the threshold, right? They lay him down. And they gotta lay him down. They put him to bed. Oh, absolutely. Spread the love. That is so true. Now Candace doesn't have her car or Summer. Yeah, that's true. We fixed just fine. We fit just fine on a full-size bed. How would you know? How would you know? Are you on the other side where everything's hanging off? And that's what I want to know. Allison said she didn't have no problems cheating on Andrew. She said she had no problems at all. She said, he didn't like to run around the block. where the other guy was waiting. Right? Andrew wasn't much for jogging. She just kept her other guy on the other side. I heard the car either got repoed or, just like it done got wore out. Like, Candace was running it everywhere. She was running it over into Arkansas and running it here and running it there and kind of just, wore it out, right? Wore that vehicle out. And that's what happens, materialistic things, vanish. Anything you could, I mean, materialistic stuff does not last forever. It don't last forever. It fades away, it melts away, it rusts away, it goes away, it becomes garbage. It becomes garbage. You can't take it with you. And it ain't gonna come visit you. It ain't gonna come visit you. That's for sure. It ain't gonna put no flowers on your grave. Right? No, she can't. Well, that car was like what? That car was like Summer disappeared in 2021. I think she got it in 2020. About 5 years. I mean, and she was riding it hard, right? She was riding it hard, putting it away wet. So, same way it looks like she got rode. Right? That's my opinion. I'll keep it. Just saying. Hey, Robin, how you doing, sweetie? God bless. I think that car is gone because Candace didn't get it the righteous way. Amen. Amen. Absolutely, Molly. Absolutely. I agree. I got to agree with that. Yeah, it might have got repossessed. That's true. That's true. Have a brownie on me, PG. Hey, girlfriend, how about if I have two? All right. I think I've had enough. I think I've had enough today. I've had a hard time. I had a hard time getting this big old grin off my face today. Too many brownies. That's what they do to you. They make you look like you're walking around with some kind of secret. All right. Nobody else knows. Um, okay. We're up in here. We're up in here. We've got quite a few people in here. I was waiting for all the people to be able to come in and be able to hear this tonight because I didn't want nobody missing it. A lot of people say, PG, play it again. What's going on in here? And I don't want to have to play it over and over, because I got a lot of content tonight. And I just want to get through everything all at once. So I figured I'd hang out and chit chat with you guys first while everybody else is coming in, so they can be here and hear everything all at the same time. But you guys are going to be very, very surprised at what is about to come to light in front of your own eyes. I don't think people understood this and you know, and we supposedly have Andrew in the chat, right? We supposedly got Andrew here in the chat, which is, you know, amazing, which is amazing. And I'm glad for that, right? Because like I said, Andy might not be able to answer it, but maybe Andrew can, right? Maybe Andrew can. I doubt if he will. But, you know, I'm going to tell you, I've yet to find anybody in this whole case who is honest up, you know, and tells the truth, right? None of them tell the damn truth. They're all a bunch of liars. And, you know, that makes you even more suspicious about these people and what the hell's going on amongst them, right? So, anyway, let's bring it to light, because I think you all gonna want to hear this one. I'm late but catching up. Hey, my three girls. Right now we was just chit-chatting, but I'm about to put out the truth here. That's what I'm about to put out. I'm about to put out some real hey girl. All right, spread love. Get that one Prayer Garden of America membership. All right, girl, I appreciate it. That is a gift that will keep giving. Hey, God bless. God bless. And I'm getting ready to have a members only live, because it's too sensitive. It's just too sensitive of a topic to put out here. I won't do it. But I'm getting ready to do it behind the scenes, and members only live. So you won't, and it won't ever be brought public. It won't be brought public because it's just too sensitive information and so forth. So, you know, I appreciate you doing that. I really do. Appreciate you giving that membership, girlfriend. All right. You got another one. Hey, he's the mama's heart. All right, gifted a Prayer Garden membership as well. Another gift that will keep on moving. Hey, girl, I appreciate it. And Jackie became a member for 24 months. All right. Hey, God bless. God bless. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like to see those gifts that will keep on giving. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I really appreciate you guys doing that. You don't know how much. All right. Listen to what has come to the light. Yeah, you guys are going to be surprised. This is like some new stuff right here. Boom. Right here. Right here. Andrew, find a way to get at me, dude. Find a way to get at me, dude. That's what he's telling Andrew. He says, find a way to get at me, dude. And right here he is, the real Andy B, right there. Look what he says. He says, email me. Look, email me. Andrew comes back at him, says, I don't know how to do that shit. LOL, right? Ha ha ha. Email me. Did you guys pick up on this? Did you pick up on what I just told you? Because I picked up on it as soon as I saw it. I picked up on it. I said, oh shit. Andrew already has Andy's email. He's already been corresponding with this guy before. I mean, email me. He's already knows how to contact Andy Bernard, right? Andy didn't say, hey, my email is such and such and such, right? Or, he says, email me. You already got my email. That's what you would tell someone that has your email. If you was talking to a couple of your friends, okay, you're talking to Jane, and and you ain't supposed to know Jane. Why are you telling Jane email me? Obviously, you got to know Jane for her to have your email. You have to, been corresponding with this woman before. You guys, You don't tell me that you don't know Jane when I just hear you say, "Hey Jane, email me." And you know that she has to have your email or you'd be giving it to her. Because if you was talking to, if you was talking to Anna and Anna didn't have, and Anna didn't have your email, you'd say, "Hey Anna, here's my email. Put it in your phone or write it down and email me." You wouldn't say just email me, because see, Anna don't got your email and you know it. So Andrew is connected to this bunch of people. He's connected to Ben Hill Road on a one-on-one. And yes, he was up there. He was up there, just a few months before Summer went missing. He was up there, in a big truck, visiting up a big storage unit, hanging out up there. Took a whole lot of people down there. From what Allison said, like 19 kids, like 19 children. So, this is new. This right here is new stuff. We had no idea that Andy Bernard knew Andrew Holt. We had no idea Andrew Holt had Andy Bernard's email, right? We had no idea. Bull crap, Andrew, bull crap. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm calling your ass out. You got busted right there. Andy busted you. He busted you. He told on you because he says, "Email me." Like, you got his email. He didn't say, hey dude, here's my email. Email me. No, I mean, he would have, no way. He didn't say, "Send me your email," or, or "I'll send you my email." No. He says, "Email me." You got his email. Just saying. You got to have it. Now listen, Andrew, listen, because I'm going to tell you, you just recently said that you saw Andrew at the bottom of Ben Hill Road in that truck. You recently said that on a live, that you saw Andrew down at the bottom of Ben Hill Road in that truck. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember Andy saying that he saw Andrew at the bottom of 110 Ben Hill Road in that truck. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And this is just a few weeks ago. He said it. Yes, you did, Andy. And now you're going to tell us that, no, I absolutely. Right? Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yep, he sure did. He sure did. No doubt in my mind. I'm going to tell you, Andy, we heard it. We heard it out of your own mouth. No, it ain't BS, baby. It ain't no BS. Absolutely not. Andy, I like to ask you. I mean, I really don't need to ask you because I already got the answers that, that I'll be bringing out anyway. In a private live, because it's too sensitive of information. But, I like to ask you, some questions. I like to ask you some questions like, why was you selling Candace stuff to allow those little girls to be sedated and touched? I like to ask you, who were they sedating these little girls for? Who was actually touching these little girls? Could you enlighten me on that? Could you tell me who was up there? And it's a funny thing, Andy, but do you guys remember Jodie Sue talking about the van that was up there with children in the back of it that you could actually buy? That Candace come and told her that they had little girls in the back of a van they were selling up there on Ben Hill Road. Put a one in the chat if you remember that. And then Jodie Sue said that she told Andy that she didn't care how he got the money or whatever they wanted for him to get down there and to get that little girl. Put a one in the chat if you remember that. Yeah, Jodie Sue said it. Jodie Sue said it. That they had this. That they had this load of little girls up there. That they were, and Candace was already down at the van, right? She was already down there. Obviously, I mean, how the hell she know this van's like? It's not an ice cream truck, right? It's not an ice cream truck. It don't play the music, right? It don't have the music box on it that when it's coming down the road. That every kid recognizes and runs out to buy an ice cream off of. I mean, this is a freaking stalker van coming down through there, loaded up with minor children, obviously from what Jodie Sue said, for sale. And she says that she's having Andy go and try to buy one, right? Go to get one little girl. She said they was trying to get the little girl. So, just saying, just saying. That's what I heard. PG ain't your bro, Andrew. Yeah. I don't think Andrew's my bro. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. He ain't my bro. I'm gonna tell you what. No, I serve God, not the devil. Right? PG serves God, not the devil. He ain't my bro. Satan ain't my daddy. Right? Satan ain't PG's daddy. There ain't no way that dude's my bro. I remember the live. Andrew said he could sit on his friend's front porch and see the whales. And he was going to camp on Andy B's property a few years back around the same time. Yeah, right? Right? Lockdown? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you something. And Allison said that they were all supposed to go up. All of them supposed to go up to Ben Hill Road. She said they was all staying up at Ben Hill Road. Well, we know she was, her kids was, we know that Jose was, and probably the rest of them was as well. Andy, Andy knows Andrew. He has to know Andrew because right here he says, and Andrew knew. Andrew knew, look, I don't know how to do that shit. LOL. Andrew's like, you just busted us out, man. You just busted us out. I mean, Andrew, find a way to get at me, dude. Email me. Email me. Right there says these two mother freakers know each other, y'all. These two mother freakers right here know each other. They have been corresponding. They've been corresponding, and Andy, thought this was going to go unnoticed. He thought this was going to go unnoticed. Dang, shit goes unnoticed, right? Under our watch. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was just, checking out, what Andrew's been saying lately, because he's been talking about, summer, 3 days to summer, a day to summer. And, I just thought, I'm going to stop in and see what else, this freaking Satan's son has been talking about. And, and I went in and then taking a look and boom, I'm like, what? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm going to tell you, PG does her research, right? I do my research. Like I said, I stay up late hours. I stay up late hours searching and going through things to find what I can for this little girl. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at how much and how many places is covered every second, free second I've got. This is the things I'm doing because you know what? Summer's worth it. Summer needs to be found. She needs to be brought home, and justice needs to be served for this little girl. And the main thing we got to know is, who's connected to who. That's what we need to know, is who is connected to who. I always felt that freaking Andrew is somehow connected in all of this. Well, now we know. Now we know. And I'm going to tell you, and I always thought Andy Bernard was, one of the main operators in all of this. Put a 1 in the chat if you've always felt Andy Bernard is one of the main operators in this. Right. There's Mama Bear. She says, just asking. I normally do not comment in here, but what about the Airbnb? He said that he was going to go stay in at Andy B's. There you go. Man, I'm going to tell you. And it's an Airbnb too, right? It is definitely an Airbnb. Like there's all the air you freaking want between them slats up there, right? I mean, like Jodie Sue's like, oh, me and the kids, we were laying inside the cabin and, hanging out inside. And you're thinking, when you think cabin, you think, like, the cabin you see in in a beautiful movie, right? You're thinking of this getaway cabin that's, a beautiful log cabin out in a wilderness type thing and surrounded by trees and, with kind of like little house on the prairie, cabin, right? That's what you're thinking. And then Andy goes up there with that woo-woo guy and, and his wife, his woo-woo old lady, and they go up there, Ryan finds truth or whatever. And I mean, why the hell does he call himself Ryan finds truth when he ain't finding no damn, I ain't heard no truth yet, right? I ain't heard no truth yet. I could tell you the truth. I could tell you some truth, but I ain't heard it out of their mouths. But, they went up there and there was no freaking B&B, right? There was no B&B, where there was, broke and really broke cabins. But, what I'm saying is, yeah. And Ryan goes up there and exposes it, right? He exposes it. I'm like, what the hell is that? I mean, oh my gosh, this place was like, whoa, like Nightmare City, right? I mean, you think everybody's like the Wells place was like ungodly, like filthy and broken down and ungodly. Looks like, it needs to be rebuilt. But then you went over to Jodie Sue's place and it was like, who lives in that? Who could live in that, right? And then, you see, like there's no doors. There's like no doors and everything's falling down and it looks like, if somebody breathed real hard, it would collapse, right? This thing she called a cabin. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't even know what that place was, but it looked like, you could sit inside and see outside for real. I mean, I was really taking a look at this place. And then, The woo-woo lady, Ryan's old lady, the woo-woo one, she's over there with some kind of camera thing, stirring a pot, right? Stirring a pot. And then we find out, that it came from Andy. We find out from Andy that it's radiated poo-poo, right? And it's like, oh my God, what the heck? And she's stirring it all over and it's flopping on her. And it's like, whoa, what the hell you gonna find in there? Other than a mother freaking floating turd, right? And it's like, geez, I don't even know if one of them would be left in all that radiation. And I mean, she was staring soup poop, right? It was like soup poop. And it's like, what the hell? And it was going everywhere. I'm like, whoa, like beep, 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 back it up, baby, back it up. You got to get away from that shit. But yeah, so I don't know exactly what they was going to be staying on or staying in. I mean, I wouldn't even want to go near there, right? I wouldn't even want to. I'd be afraid. She's like, if them kids put one little foot on my property, right? Listen, if they put one little foot in your property, it would probably disintegrate with all that radiated poo-poo hanging around, right? I mean, your toxic waste is dangerous. I wouldn't be worried about falling off the cliff. I'd be worried about your toxic waste up there, right? I'd be like, yeah. I mean, it would look like a Wizard of Oz movie. I'm melting, right? Yeah, for real. It's like, whoa, straight up. I'm not kidding. That's some bad stuff. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. He knows him. There's connections between Andy and Andrew. Andrew wants to, run his mouth, but I'm going to tell you something. And Don Wells was driving a Subaru for the extra alibi on June 15, 2021. Andy was driving Jodie Sue's car, which had GPS. Extra alibi, right? They both had phones. They both stayed at home or stayed at work the whole day when they usually, came home early. Don Wells was very accustomed to coming home early. Andy Bernard was very accustomed to coming home early if he went to work at all. But June the 15th, they both, armed up with different vehicles that had, that gave them an alibi. They both armed up with their phones, and they both stayed at work the whole day, and they both made sure that they talked to people in order to use them for alibis as well, right? And do you see the pattern here? There's a pattern. Just saying. There's a pattern with these people. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, they're all connected. New York City is connected to Ben Hill Road. Kentucky, West Virginia's connected with Ben Hill Road. Arkansas, connected with Ben Hill Road. Utah, connected with Ben Hill Road. Wisconsin, connected with Ben Hill Road. And there's probably other places connected with Ben Hill Road that we don't know about yet. Absolutely. And, Andrew goes all the way down there, he goes all the way down there to a storage shed where he loses Jose, right? Where he loses Jose. And that's the only reason we know about him being down there to that storage shed is because of Jose and Jose squilling on everything, which, right after they figured out where Jose was gone, wasn't he? Jose was no more. That's, that seems to be how this works. I mean, it's, like the first guy that ended up, face down in the water. And then, another lady that was trying to save kids from, from bad stuff like that down there. She ends up the same way, quite a few people. And, then we have Marlena's dad, who Don Wells says, I sacrificed my daughter for my sins. My daughter was sacrificed for my sins. And he went to tell everybody about it. And, he ends up, unalived as well. And then, we have Allison, who ended up unalived after Hunter, really crossed her, stole her rent money, get tattoos, and really got her upset. Maybe she's going to tell some stuff she knew, and Leslie the same way. I heard Leslie went to Allison, said, if you don't go to the law, I'm going to go to the law. And then, Leslie ended up, unalived. And then here Hunter goes, lives with mommy, steals her money up and everything to get tattoos and stuff. And then, mommy ends up unalived, right? And a whole lot of people ending up unalived surrounding the Summer Wells case. I mean, and look at Cotton. Cotton is up there. He's, his ears, his antennas up, his ears are open. He's hearing stuff. He takes some information back to his family about how they supposedly had, Summer, and saying stuff. And he ends up unalived as well, right? He ends up unalived also. A lot of unaliving going on in the Summer Wells case. So, this must be way bigger than we think it is. That's my opinion. It's got to be bigger than we think it is. Allison knew Andy B. Yes, she did. Jodie Sue tried to deny that, and Andy tried to deny, that knowing Allison, but Allison was going to where Andy's job, where Andy worked, and was hanging around at Andy's job site. So, yes, Allison definitely knew Andy. Obviously might have had a little thing for him. She gets a little thing for every guy that she seems to meet, right? She gets a little thing for him. And, it is what it is. I mean, I hate to say it, but, and people might, you might find this rude, but it's the truth. If you mother freaking have loved and lost as much as Allison did, I would think you would learn not to freaking love at all anymore, right? I would think that you would give it up, but it is what it is. Yeah, him and his wife. It was him and his old lady. Did you hear the way Andrew's old lady talked? Did you hear the way Andrew's old lady talks? I'm going to tell you, people say, oh, swear garden, swear garden. I'm going to tell you what. I'm a saint compared to that woman's mouth. Straight up, I am a saint compared to her. I mean, that woman's got like not only a foul mouth, but a really bad attitude, with it. And that's the truth. And she ain't out to find any answers for Summer Moon Utah Well. She ain't out to do anything but sit there and try to protect her, stepson, Hunter. And why does he need protection? If he's not guilty of anything, why the hell does he need protection? Could somebody answer that for me? I mean, Allison's sitting there protecting Hunter. All these people protecting Hunter. Daddy's protecting Hunter. Why the hell does he need protection if he's not guilty? Just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, it's my personal opinion, and this is my opinion. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I believe that, what went down June the 15th, 2021 was premeditated. It had been planned out and carried out on June 15th, 2021 by more people than just Don, Candace, and Grandis. That's my opinion. I truly believe Hunter was up waiting. He knew they was coming in using Grandma's knee to come into Kingsport. He knew they was picking him up. No teenage boy's going to be up fucking waiting on two old ladies unless he knew beforehand they were coming. And obviously he did, and they were playing it all out. Hunter lied about being up on the hill. He lied to Chris M saying that, I noticed her hair was cut. No, mother freaker, you knew her head was shaved bald because we've got a picture of you behind her up on Ben Hill Road. You had to have been on Ben Hill Road, just a few weeks prior to Summer coming up missing, because we have a picture of you coming up behind her. And she is, her head is completely shaved, right? So why are you lying? Why are you lying about being there? And I'm telling you, I truly believe that child was part of the plan. I believe they went in there, they picked him up. He knew they were coming. He knew what they were coming for. Candace picked his stuff up to get him hayed up so that he could go into that water and do exactly what Don, Candace, and, and Grandis and them had planned to be done, because none of them wanted to go to prison for sedating little kids, letting them be touched to the point that something bad happened and they couldn't fix it without going to prison. That's my opinion. And I truly believe that Candace, met up. She didn't meet up. She didn't meet up with no Fred Hill. I mean, I suspected it at first, Fred and Laura, but she didn't go down there and meet up with no Fred Hill. She went down there and she met up with Chad Arnold. And she followed Chad Arnold out of Ben Hill Road onto Beach Creek, and I believe right over to Morrison Cemetery. That's my opinion. And, and tonight I'm going to strengthen that. I'm going to strengthen, I like to put bring the proof. I like to bring the receipts. I don't just run my mouth. I bring receipts to back up what I say. I learned that early on, right? Show receipts. Well, honey, I brought the receipts tonight, and I'm going to strengthen everything coming out of PG's mouth. Because why? Because I seek the truth. I want the truth. I need the truth. And this little girl, the truth is the only thing that's going to find her, bring her home, and get justice for her. The truth is the only thing that can help any of us in this world. And people need to learn to start loving the truth, facing the truth, and demanding the truth. Because I'm going to tell you what, baby, without the truth, you ain't got nothing but a whole basket full of damn lies that ain't going to help you in any way, form, or how. And I don't live on lies. But right here, I done proved without a doubt that these two know each other. I done proved that right there. It's right in front of everybody's face. Andrew, find a way to get at me, dude. To get at you. Whoa. That don't sound, every time I read that, I picture him in his thong. Remember he's up there searching with the woo-woo guy, Ryan. Remember he was running around searching with the woo-woo guy, and he pulled his shirt up and his pants were slid down and stuff was sticking out that wasn't supposed to, and it looked like he had a freaking thong on. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. He's like, Andrew, find a way to get at me, dude. I'm like, whoa. That don't sound right, to be honest with you. Then he's like, email me, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Straight up. Just saying, you guys, just saying. But we're going to take it. We're taking it farther tonight.
I have said this since the beginning to people that made a difference. That I've told people about having the dream that I've.
People who made a difference. People who made a difference. He said this to people who made a difference. You know, this is wordplay, baby. People who made a difference, meaning people, who made a difference in his life and he was trying to help out. Right, Andy? That's how that goes. You got to know how to read these people.
In the open grave, it's been told, it's not a lie. And I have heard my whole life that the best time to get rid of somebody is when there's an open grave.
Oh, there we go. Best time to get rid of somebody is when there's an open grave. An opportunity arised, right? Opportunity arise. See, they have been plotting. They've been plotting since April when they shaved their head completely, all the hair off to the scalp. That's when they started plotting everything. And they were biding their time. They had a little while before school started. They were biding their time, trying to figure out exactly, how they're going to do it, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, how, because there's a lot into it. If you plan on, unliving somebody, you got to first, how are you going to unlive them? Okay, now you got them, and you got that done. Now, where are you going to put them? Right? Where are you going to put them? What kind of alibis and stuff are you going to have so it don't come back on you? There's a lot to figure out. There's a whole lot of thinking that goes into this stuff. And I'm going to tell you, all these people were down there putting their heads together, especially Andy and Don Wells, because they went looking for Mr. Dobbs. They went out searching for Mr. Dobbs, and they, what was they going to do? What was he going to do? I bet you. Because Don done fired his co-worker to blame it on. Because they know they had the open grave. They knew they had the open grave, you guys. Now they needed, an scapegoat. They needed to set somebody up. Who can we blame something like this on? Don fired his co-worker because he figured that'd be the perfect person to blame. Because you never know where these people are. Thank God Dudley was at his home with tons of witnesses trying to fix his broken down vehicle. Thank God he had a broken down vehicle on June 15, 2021. Because if his vehicle wouldn't have been broken down and he would have been somewhere, that he couldn't, verify with law enforcement, it's a good possibility, everybody would be, blaming this guy for something he didn't even do. An innocent man. And that would have been okay with these evil people. That would have been A-O-freaking-K with them, because these are the type of evil humans they are. They only worry about their own ass, nobody else's. And I'm going to tell you, that's how it is. That's how it is in the hood. You worry about you, screw everybody else. You're number one. And that's how, in the hood, you ain't got no friends. You ain't got no, you don't trust nobody. You might laugh and talk with these people, but I'm going to tell you, you keep your damn eyes on them, because you know who and what they are. And if they be doing it with you, they be doing it to you. And you're smart enough to know that too. It's just how it is. And I'm going to tell you, Don Wells, he went and messed over his co-worker. He planned it out. They'd had their open grave. They was looking, but he was thinking twice on Dudley. He was thinking twice on Dudley because, he liked having the extra help and stuff. So now comes Mr. Dobbs. And they went looking for Mr. Dobbs the night before. And I bet you 10 to 1, if they'd have found him, then law enforcement would have probably found a shoe, or they would have found a piece of maybe that jacket. They'd have found something that belonged to Summer close to where this man was, or on his vehicle. They'd have found something trying to lead, on what happened to Summer to this man. because they figured where they're putting her, she's not ever going to be found. Right? I mean, Don was like, he had that smirk, like, he's so proud of himself where Summer got put, and that, she's not ever going to be found. He felt so, he was patting his old self on the back with that big old smirky grin on his face. He thought he'd done an excellent job until, Jodie, Sue, and Andy started running their mouths about the cemetery over there, right? And, yeah, absolutely. So basically, the thing is Andy's sitting there, he's telling us everything, everything in a roundabout way. He's telling us everything. And I believe that that's where Candace went that day. I believe that she followed Chad Arnold out right over to the cemetery. And that's where Summer was. But, listen to Andy. I want you to listen to him here. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to let you really listen to what this man says, because I'm going to tell you what, this mother freaker knows it all. And him and Donald covered their asses, and they left Candace exposed. They left Candace's backside exposed. But I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because that was that woman's daughter, and it was her job to protect her little girl. It was her job. It is a mother's job to protect her children. The mother carries the child 9 months. The mother goes through everything that takes to have these kids, and it's her job to make sure no one ever hurts her child or does anything to cause her child any problems, misery, pain, or anything else. It's her job to watch over her babies. And that bitch didn't do it, in my opinion. And I'll keep it.
The dude was buried on what day? I've said this since the beginning to people that made a difference. That I've told people about having the dream that I've, in the open grave. It's been told. It's not a lie. And I have heard my whole life that the best time to get rid of somebody is when there's an open grave. The dude was buried on what day? The 18th? Okay, so 3 days after Summer went missing, they buried that dude. Do you think they dug the grave the day that Summer went missing? I'm saying it was dug between the day the dude died and the day Summer went missing, the 11th.
There you go. Did you take note that he has all the dates? When did this guy pass away? Oh, the 11th. When did this guy get put in his grave? Oh, the 18th. He knows it all. He knows those dates by heart. Why? Well, in my opinion, because he was part of the plan. He was part of the planning against this little innocent 5-year-old baby girl, who, like I said, in my opinion, had to be on live in order to keep all the rest of these people from going to prison, because they was running some type of weird stuff up there where Andy Bernard, out of Jodie Sue's own mouth, right? This ain't our words. This is Jodie Sue's words. You go ask him why he was selling stuff to Candace. You go ask him what he was giving Candace Bly Wells, the mother of Summer Moon Utah Wells. You go ask him what he was giving her to sedate those little girls so that they could be touched. Not just Summer, but other little girls as well. Now let's remember the van with the little girls in it that's supposed to have been for sale, and Jodie Sue wanting to buy one, right? Let us remember that. Let us remember a whole lot of things about the different little girls who were up on that hill. Let us remember a whole lot of things. I'm going to tell you right now, Jodie Sue was a scorned woman. She came out right when Andy opens it live. He opens it live up with this new wife, right? He done put a ring on it. Jodie Sue lost it, right? She lost it. And she's like, oh no, this mother freaker, if I can't have him, no one will. I'll put him in prison. And she came out to tell some truth on him. And she did. And she did, in my opinion. She told that he's up there supplying the stuff. And then that she went farther than that. Jodie Sue went farther than that. Jodie Sue went as far to say that he was hanging over there. That he was hanging over there with on the Wells property with these little girls being touched. Jodie Sue also said that he likes to get with preteens. Put a 1 in the chat if she did not say that. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Put a 1. If you heard Jodie Sue say that Andy likes to go out on the parking lots and get with little girls, preteen girls, which is 11, 12, 13 years old, put a 1 in the chat because I clearly heard her. Matter of fact, I have the video recording of her saying it. Straight up. I have the receipts. And yes, she did say it. She did say it. Absolutely. There you go.
Not if she went over there on the 15th when Candace left at some point in time off that fucking hill, took her over there. Maybe she went to Fred's and Fred helped her. If it was open on the 15th, all she would have had to do is go over there and dig down just a little bit more, put her in there, cover her back up. When they brought the vault in a few days before they buried the dude, the concrete vault would have been set on top of it, and nobody would have known no different. And we know who dug the graves. We know all that shit.
There you go, you guys. There you go. Now, picture Andy explaining this to Don and Candace and Grandis and them. Picture him explaining how to get rid of Summer. Because it sounds to me like, he has said this before. And when he says it, take in consideration. When he's saying this, he's very convincing. He's very convincing, as if he's talking to someone about how easy it is to get done and how they should do it, right? And I think he was to Don Wells. I think Andy's the one that suggested that Don drive Candace's vehicle because it's got Starlink. I think Andy's the one that said, hey man, I'm going to be driving my old lady's vehicle because it's got GPS and I'll have my phone. I'm going to be doubled up on alibis. You need to drive Candace's car with your phone and be doubled up too. But you got to start driving it a little ways beforehand. You got to drive it a little while beforehand, make it look like you've been driving it. And Don Wells, so lazy, he waited till the day before, right? Instead of started driving it a week or two before. He starts driving it the very day before because he's too lazy to clean out his truck. I mean, these are lazy last minute people, right? Very lazy last minute people. And that's what gets you caught. And, he waits till the last minute to start driving the Subaru, to start, to fire his coworker, to do everything. Hold on, you guys, just a second. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Yes, Molly. I believe that she did. She said she was like 13. And supposedly Andy Bernard's parents were supposed to purchase Jodie Sue for Andy, right? Supposed to purchase her for Andy at the time. Um, put a one in the chat if I'm correct. If I'm correct about that statement. Wasn't Jodie Sue supposed to be like 12, 13 years old? And supposedly Andy Bernard's parents or somebody was allegedly supposed to purchase Jodie Sue for Andy. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I'm thinking that's what you know, I think that's what I've heard, you know. Yeah, out of Jodie Sue's own mouth. I think Jodie Sue at one point was explaining, you know, that she had been sold. She had been sold to these people, you know, and my parents hated her. Well, they probably did after, you know, she realized how used and abused, you know, you and her parents treated her. Right, Andy? I mean, my goodness, you were the bouncer at a strip club where you had your lady, your woman running around, you know, wiping her backside all over different gentlemen, right? I mean, what man, what real man in this world allows his woman to be working and performing like that inside of such a disgusting place? Why wasn't you working and taking care of your woman and your children? Why wasn't you paying all the bills and taking care of them? Why would you even allow your woman to be doing such a sinister thing inside of a place like that? And you know, you'd had no respect for Jodie Sue. You had no respect for her because you didn't ever put a ring on her. You put a ring on some other, you know, um, what in my opinion is a butt nasty. You put a ring on that, but but you're not going to put. Matter of fact, you put a ring on something that had somebody else's kids, not your own. You put a ring on something that done got wore out by somebody else's business, had all of their kids, and you put a ring on it, but you don't put a ring on the woman who had your children. Tell me how that works. Tell me how the hell that works. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. You abused the crap out of the mother of your children, the one that was willing to lay down, go through everything to have your kids, was willing to work and do whatever she had to do to keep you and the kids and you guys going for a long time, putting all her money into that dump that you had her living in. And you go and marry something else that's been wore out by something else, right? That's been wore out by something else, had somebody else's kids. And you're sitting around treating it like, it's mother freaking royalty. And the woman that had your children, you treat like total shit. Make that make sense. No, I think she might have been purchased for you. I really don't think you're good looking enough to get a woman that looked like Jodie Sue. Jodie Sue, personally, she's too damn pretty for you. I'm just saying. And I know she was a hell of a lot prettier than she is now when you got with her. I bet you 10 to 1, she probably really stomp. She probably really stomp. She was probably like a roadblock for a lot of men. I bet you a lot of men stopped and just had to take a look at that. She was too damn pretty for you. Matter of fact, I think she's probably too damn good for you. She didn't know it. And you used and abused this woman. She had nobody's children but yours. She didn't seem to love or care about no one but you. And you used and abused the hell out of her. And then went and stuck a ring on something else. You felt big. You felt big by beating on the mother of your children. You felt big by beating on the mother of your children. That's disgusting. That's disgusting as hell. You're a grown ass fucking man. Why don't you, if you want to go at something, why don't you go at another person your own size? Why try to feel your power and control over a female that really can't defend herself against somebody as freaking big as you? You're like huge. And it's just my opinion, you're ugly as a mud fence. You're uglier than a mud fence. I don't know how in the hell this woman got you. I have no idea how she got hooked up with you at all. And she could have done a hell of a lot better. She could have done better. She could have done better than you in the fucking dark. And that's the truth. Just saying. That's my opinion. Right? I mean, if you don't want to hear the truth, if you don't want to hear the truth, Andy, you can, you always can see your way out of the chat. You come in here, you're going to hear the truth. And I think it's totally messed up that you go stick a ring on something else's finger that has already been used up. That's right. That's right. They are. Opinions are. And I'm going to tell you something. Everybody's got one, right? Everybody's got one. But yours is stinky. But yours is stinky. I seen yours. Metaphorically, it's stinky. And in reality, it's stinky. Just saying. If you want to get technical and talk about, a-holes. Just saying. I wash mine up and keep it smelling like fucking roses. Trust me. So my mother freaking opinion counts. Right? Because my a-hole is clean. Yours ain't. Just saying. Absolutely. It damages children to see some weak ass man stand around and have to pounce on his wife and kids to feel big about himself, right? Because he ain't big enough to go pounce on the real people he wished he could pounce on. But what's even worse is he sits there and he uses and abuses this young girl from the time she's 12, 13 years old, all the way up until she needed him most. And then he dumps her for something else that's done, been rode hard, put away with a few times with a bucket full of kids that ain't even his, and he puts a damn ring on it. And trust me, it ain't no damn better. It ain't no damn better. Actually, he had better than he got, if you ask me. That's my opinion. He had better than he got, because I'm going to tell you, Jodie Sue really loved. She really loved that freaking, mud fence face. In my opinion, Andy Bernard is not good looking at all. At all. Period. Just saying. Matter of fact, to be honest, they all of those people up inside Ben Hill Road, all of them men like Don Wells, Andy, even Fred, all of these guys, they mother freaking look like a bunch of swamp donkeys, right? Just saying. I mean, like, that can't turn you on, man. That's like a cold shower, right? That's like putting fucking ice cubes down your back. It's just nasty. I can understand Dawn getting Candace. I understand that to the fullest. She looked like a swamp donkey too, right? She looked like one herself. But I couldn't understand Laura, and I couldn't understand Jodie Sue. I can understand Laura a little bit better than Jodie Sue, because Laura was, like, she was as bad as Fred when it comes to illegal substance abuse and stuff. She was as bad as Fred. I mean, she got real problems. But Jodie Sue, she seems to be a little bit normal-minded, She seems to be a little normal-minded. Yeah, she can be, she can be far out if she wants to. But for the most part, the way Jodie Sue acts and who she truly is, I think is two different people. That's my opinion. From what I have observed with Jodie Sue, the way she acts and who she really is two different people. Just my opinion. And I think Andy, and possibly his family, like he said, his parents hated Jodie Sue. Well, I think between him and his parents, they probably, really, Jodie Sue really got used and abused and treated like crap and put through hell and I think she had to do a walk of shame. I think a lot of nights Jodie Sue was doing a walk of shame. And I think every woman knows what that walk of shame is like. When someone, when you feel dirty, you feel less, you can't believe that the person you're with didn't stand up for you or protect you or care more about you. You feel like you're wasting your life and your time with a piece of crap that doesn't care, and you're doing the walk of shame. He lets people look at you and treat you ways that no woman should be treated. He treats you bad himself. And you don't know why you're standing there going through it or sticking with it. And you feel shameful. You want to hang your head and just cry. Because you deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. And you're ashamed of yourself for staying with that trash that you're with and getting treated the way you're getting treated. But you can't, you can't overcome what the heart wants, what the heart cares about. You stand there and you hope, you're waiting for him to change, and you're waiting for him to change, and you're waiting for him to change. And they make a change, right? They make a change. They change their underwear and go meet up with something else and put a ring on it instead of you. right? I wasn't the change that you were hoping for as you got older. You was hoping that they would see your value and maybe some point treat you with the respect you deserve. But I'm going to tell you, that's where you make your grave mistake. Because sorry ass son of a mothers like that ain't going to ever respect you for the human that they should. And Andrew ain't no better. He treated Allison horrible. He had a son by her. He goes and lived with something else, right? He goes and lives with something else. Instead of working and taking care of the son, the son that he gave this woman, and being the dad he needed to be and raise his children right. And Allison wasn't hiding true in a closet. She wasn't hiding true in a closet. Andrew knew that True existed when he started seeing Allison, when he started hooking up with her, and when, he formed a child in her womb. He knew about the other child. And he was a sorry mother freaker too, right? He wants to play daddy from a distance, but he doesn't want to pay daddy. He doesn't want to work and keep his kids up the way a man's supposed to. He doesn't want to stick around and protect his children and educate his children and do all the things that real parents are supposed to do for their kids. He didn't want to stick around and, support Allison and everything. And, and she's a hardworking woman. She was a hardworking woman. A very kind, caring, loving person if you would just stayed with her and, and been with her. That's all she wanted. All she wanted was someone to stay with her and raise a family with. And all she kept getting is used and abused by one man after another. Until she wasn't here to be abused any longer. Right? Because that's what these people do. They use and abuse women. And and once they destroy everything, all your youth, they suck all your youth and all the good stuff out of you. They go find something else that they can try to start, sucking it out of again. And sometimes they'll do it too. I mean, if this woman can take Andy away from Jodie Sue, there's something that can come along and take Andy away from her. If this woman feels that, her and Andy's so stable, I suggest she not feel that way. Because, if he's easy to take. It probably wouldn't take much to take him. Not that, I don't know who would want him. But if something did, oh, trust me, he'd be all pulling up his shirt, showing his thong, ready to go, ready to roll with it. Like, come pick me up, baby. Right? Email me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Andrew's going to be rolling out to pick him up. I don't know. Maybe both of them are tired of what they got and they just decided, that they're going to try to hang out together. I don't know. He did say come and hook him up. Allie didn't even have a job until after she moved to Tennessee. Oh, you'd have stayed with her. She'd had a job, right? She'd have been working in New York like the other chick that's keeping you up right now. If she'd have been working, you probably have stayed with her. If you knew she was going to go over to Tennessee and get that fine house and start working her backside off and doing so good, you probably would have stayed with her. Man, you look like something that crawled out from under a rock, Andrew. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. You look like something that crawled out from underneath a fucking rock. That's why you like larger women, because they're the only ones strong enough to lift that damn rock up and let you out from underneath it, right? Just weird.
So I don't think nobody would have paid any attention to if she was done in there the day of the 15th. I have said
the day of the 15th. No one would have paid any attention because they knew the grave diggers. They knew everybody. Nobody would have paid attention if they just went over there, put her down in there, and walked away. Matter of fact, he knows. He knows they wouldn't. Because I truly believe, in my opinion, that's where Summer's been for 4 years. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it too. And why law enforcement ain't over there, finding out, I don't know. But I think it's kind of messed up that Ronnie Lawson isn't. I think it's really messed up. If law enforcement cannot tell us that absolutely positively Summer is not down in there, then they need to take their asses and check it, right? They need to be looking into it. They're supposed to follow every damn lead. And this one is a lead, and it's a solid lead coming out of prime suspects' mouths. And they need to be looking into it. And people need to start questioning. Why are you not looking into it? Why are you not looking into it? I mean, this guy sits here and he gives you a full mother freaking scenario of what happened June 15, 2021. And that law enforcement clearly missed it all. Because everybody knows everybody, right? Everybody calls your friend. Yeah, exactly. Listen to him. Listen to him from beginning to end. He tells you exactly what happened that day. Exactly. After, and I'm not done. I'm not done. We'll come back to this. Because you know what? I'm not finished. Like I said, I brought receipts tonight. I ate my brownies, baby. I ate my brownies. And I got mother freaking clarification up here running around in my head, right? A whole lot of clarification. I'm not done. We're going to come back to this. Trust and believe. Oh, hell yeah. I ain't finished with this one. I'm just getting started, Andy. Oh, hell yeah. So is Don Wells, right? The 15th was the one day that both of you, lazy ass mother freakers, stayed at work the whole day when you usually don't. Half the time you don't even go to work, do you? Half the time you don't even go to work. And then you try to come home. You try to come home as soon as you can. But on June the 15th, 2021, both you mother freakers stayed at work with your GPS, your Starlinks, your phones, and all the people that knew you. Hey, Cameron, look at me. Look at me. Here I am. Let me do a dance. Right? You was probably in there freaking doing boot scoop boogie. Right? You was freaking getting down, turn around, go to town, boot scoop fucking boogieing at work, right in front of the camera. You wanted to make sure your ass was safe. Right? Oh, hell, I tell you what, it'd be a cold day in hell for these motherfuckers derail PG. I'm a brilliant little bitch, and I'm not afraid to say it. Mother freaking brilliant. Mother freaking pretty as hell and brilliant as hell. I got it all. These motherfuckers got nothing. They won't be derailing me. Hell no. Can't derail someone that wouldn't give you the time of day. I wouldn't let them motherfuckers smell where I pissed. And that's the truth. Got yourself busted again, Andy. Listen, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to you. Andy Bernard. Right here. Right here. This is what I want people to listen to before I go on to more. All right. Yeah.
Her garden also says that I pulled in behind her when she was over there looking for that.
Oh no, Andy. I didn't ever say you pulled in behind me, bitch. You said you did. You said you came right into my chat and said that that was you who saw my little friend at the cemetery. You said, PG, I saw your little friend at the cemetery. I said, Andy, did you see me? You said no. And I described the truck, and everybody said the truck belonged to Chad Arnold. They said, PG, that ain't what Andy drives. That ain't what that's Chad Arnold's truck. That's the truck Chad Arnold drives. And I said, what? That's what Chad Arnold drives. And then Marlena sent me a picture. And oh hell yeah. That's Chad's truck, right? So don't say that I said that you were over there doing anything. I said you wasn't. I said that was your little fucking crony who called your ass after he stalked us up over there. It was, when he seen that grave getting cleaned off that you guys tried to hide, right? You tried to hide it, hoping if anybody come up there looking for it, they couldn't find it. But we did, didn't we? We did. Took pictures of it too with the flowers and all. You remember the flowers you tried to cover up as well as the whole damn grave? I didn't say it was ever you. You told me it was you. And I said, no, it's your buddy Chad Arnold. Because we done got word that's whose truck it was. But see how you lie? See how you can't keep your story straight? That's the problem. That's the problem, Andy. But listen to where you really screwed up.
Grave one day when they was in a white Toyota Camry, and I was in a big black truck stalking them like Chad.
Right there, Andy. Right there. Right there. You told who it was. Right here, you told who it was.
Like Chad.
You said like Chad. Oh, you got busted, disgusted, and cannot be trusted. Man, you crack me up, dude. That's the shit we depend on when you talk. Right? There you go. You gave out your source. You gave out your source, dog. What you doing? What you doing? You giving out your source. You crack me up, man. I love it. I love it. You get enough of it. Yeah, he told on his chatty boy. Right?
That wasn't me. Prayer garden. Stalking him like Chad.
He said like Chad. Stalking him like Chad.
Stalking him like Chad.
Hey, see there? It was Chad, and that's who Candace met up with. All right. Proving my point tonight, people. Proving my point. I'm telling you, he's all caught up in the game, man. He's all caught up in the game. Straight up. There you go. Like you said, it wasn't me. You're right. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was Chad. You just told. Man, it don't get no better than this, you guys. It don't get no better than this. Where you at, Andy? Where you at? Did you have to leave the building? Huh? Did you have to leave the building? You cracked me up. You cracked me up. Oh, shit. Let's listen to some more. Let's listen to some more of old Andy, who's done been caught up more than once tonight, right?
Explain the dream thing.
Okay.
Do you ever have a dream and you feel like it's real, but you wake up and you're like, was that real or was that a dream? And then down the road, you get down the road a little ways and you wake up and you're like, wait, I had that same dream. And then maybe something happened that day that was in that dream.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Maybe something happened that day that was in that dream. Basically, what he's telling everybody is what he did was real. What he did was real. And what he did in real life was haunting his ass in a dream. What he had done in real life was haunting him in a dream. There you go. There you go. I wasn't in a van. Andy, that was Chad Arnold's truck. Nobody ever said you were in a van. The van came into 110 Ben Hill Road with little girls being sold out of it, from what Jodie Sue said. That is Jodie Sue's words, not PG's. Jodie Sue said that a van came into Ben Hill Road and it had little girls, that Candace came and got her and said, there's little girls out here for sale. She wanted you, she told you, get everything, whatever they want, and go get that one of those little girls for her. That's what she said. And then she didn't ever tell us if she got the little girl or not. She tried to, gaslight everybody like, oh, she wanted the little girl to save it. But if you were supposed to get everything and get the little girl, where is the little girl? Where is the little girl? And why would you not call 911? If there's a van down there selling little girls, why didn't you call 911 and get law enforcement? I mean, you had law enforcement come in there and get old Mr. Dobbs out, who had a legal deed to his property. I mean, this poor old man comes in there with a legal deed to his dang property, and you guys have law enforcement come in there and run this man out away from his legal property that he bought, paid for, and owned. But somebody comes in there selling little girls and you don't call 911? You don't have no law enforcement coming in, getting these people with a van full of little girls arrested and save all the girls in the van? Why is Jodie Sue just trying to buy one when there's a van full of little girls? And where did that one go if you got her? I got questions, right? I got questions. Why don't you give us some answers? Why don't you give us some answers? Come on, Andy, tell the truth for once. Tell the truth and shame the devil. How about that? How about if you guys try to tell the truth and shame the devil? I'll let you in on a little secret. The devil can't own what's not yours. You can't sell the devil anything that don't belong to you. I'm going to tell you, nobody can sell the devil their soul, because your soul don't belong to the devil. It don't belong to you. It belongs to God Almighty. Your body, mind, soul, everything about you belongs to God. And how the hell are you going to sell something that isn't yours? So come on, tell the truth and shame the devil. Why can't you do that? Right? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Where's the little girl? Where's the little girl? Where's that little girl Jodie Sue wanted out of that van? What was her name? How old was she? Why didn't somebody call 911 and save all the kids that were in there? And why the hell was Candace out there at this van? What was Don and Candace doing? Why was this van even in Ben Hill Road to begin with? What was the purpose of being there? That's my questions. Oh, Andy don't want to talk about that, right? He don't want to talk about that. I agree. I totally and utterly agree with you, Mama Bear. I agree with you. I really do. You're right. They don't have enough. They don't have enough on nerve. Andy Bernard, you know, he's still a coward. That's why he was whipping up on his old lady, going at his kids, because he's not brave enough. He's not brave enough to step up and be a real man and do what's righteous in the sight of God Almighty, right? Not brave enough to stand up and do what's righteous in the sight of God and everybody else. He don't know how to be a real man. He's too busy being a mouse, if you ask me. That's my opinion. Andrew, I don't even want to hear you. I don't even want to hear you, because I'm going to tell you what. You're no better than Andy. You and Andy know each other. We know that now by your little mother freaking comments. We know that you know each other. You've been corresponding together. You was up there in a mother freaking U-Haul with about 19 kids, opening up a big old one of them big, whatever the hell they are. I don't use them. I don't use them because I don't have to. Storage units. You're up there opening a big storage unit. Andrew was up there. 19 children riding around in a big old truck. Had 6 or 7 adults with him. 19 children, according to Allison. According to Allison, his ex-old lady said he had about 19 kids and 6 or 7 adults and brought them all down there to Tennessee in a moving truck and a car. Now, we know a moving truck only holds 2 people in the front, and we know that a car only holds 2 in the front and 3 in the back. And we know that Andrew and his old lady was supposed to be in the moving truck, and a friend of Andrew's and somebody else is supposed to have been in the car with Andrew's kids. And Jose was supposed to be inside that moving truck. Obviously 2 other adults, because she said that there was around 7 adults. So obviously there was 3 adults in the back of that truck, Jose and 2 other adults, because we can only account for 4 in the vehicles as drivers and passengers. So there had to be 3 adults in the back of this truck. She says 19 kids. So we take away Andrew's 3. right? That leaves 17, 16, at least 16 children. We got 16 kids in the back of a mother freaking U-Haul truck with 3 grown adults. Right? What the hell was they down there for? And they was down there to rent a place, but it all fell through. They couldn't get the keys. And they were looking for this U-Haul to stick all their stuff in. I mean, they're going to stick all their stuff in this storage unit, which costs more to rent this storage unit than it would just to keep the damn truck and go back to New York City. But they're going to put everything in a storage unit and let go of the truck, right? Does that make any sense? Make that make fucking sense. Make that make sense, you guys. It don't make no damn sense to me. I mean, why are you going to stick all your stuff in a storage unit, pay that much money to put your stuff in a storage unit just to get it right back out when you could just keep the damn truck? For less money, you could keep the truck and go back home. That don't make no sense. I'm telling you, there's some shady shit in that story. Break it down, and you'll find that this is bullshit. What the hell was he doing up in that storage unit? It sounds like they was unloading humans, if you ask me, according to Allison. If they really had that many people, then they were unloading people. Right? Yeah, Allison said 19 kids plus it, because I said 19 people came down. She said, no, that's just kids. I said, what? She said, yeah, she said they had like 6 or 7 adults. I said, they had how many adults? She said 6 or 7. And I said, and plus 19 other people, the kids. Yes. That's what she told me. So that would mean there was 3 adults inside that truck with 16 children. That sounds like some human trafficking stuff, if you ask me. That's my opinion. Put a 1 in the chat if that sounds like human trafficking to you, because that's what it sounds to me. And with him knowing Andy and the Wells and everything, and there's supposed to be a van on Ben Hill Road selling kids out of it. It sounds to me like there's some kind of trafficking shit going on. What do you think? I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, what other opinion can you draw from all of this? What other opinion can you get from what Allison's saying? You know, what Candace is saying, what Jodie Sue is saying. What other opinion can you get? Yeah. And why did you meet up with Allison? Why did you go meet up with Allison? I'm going to tell you something. My mods will take care of the Panda crew. Trust and believe my mods will handle the Panda crew. I ain't worried about that. I got some damn good mods. They know what to do. They know how to handle everything. I have all faith in my mods to do what's righteous. And Mama Bear's right. She has not As far as I know, I ain't seen her. I ain't seen her in here writing anything before. Oh yeah, they did. They tattooed those kids up, and it's illegal to tattoo any child. You can't tattoo a child, even you can't tattoo a child under the age of 16, even with parents' signatures. You cannot do it. Some places allow the parents' signatures, at the age of 16, 17. Sometimes they'll let parent signature, but most of the time, even not then. They say come back when you're 18, when you can choose for yourself. And that's what parents need to do. Parents need to let their children choose for themselves if they want to be all tatted up or not. The Bible says your body is your temple. And the Bible, talks harshly against marking your temple. It says don't even mark your temple, for the unliving. Don't mark your temple even for the unliving. That the body is a temple and it belongs to God. It doesn't even belong to you. Your body don't belong to you to be marking up and doing all kinds of things with. Your body belongs to God, and He wants you to keep it holy. That's my opinion. That's what the Bible says. I listen to the Bible. I want to follow God because that's who's going to get me into heaven. Okay? That's how I'm going to get there. Is by doing what's righteous in the sight of God. And that's His word. And I, for one, live by God's word. I'm not going to be tapping myself up. I get enough scrapes, scars, and bruises just in everyday life. I'm sure in hell not putting no more marks. I'm not going to deliberately put marks on God's temple. Absolutely not. Hey, our bucket list has holes. Thank you, PG, for bringing this all of this to the light. Hey, girl, I'll tell you what, we're going to bring it to the light for Summer's sake. I appreciate you supporting our channel. We're definitely going to bring it to the light. We want to know what happened to this little girl, and these people need to start manning up and telling. They need to step up for this little girl, and they need to, testify to what happened to this little girl on June 15, 2021. They need to testify what they know in all of this so this little girl can be found, brought home, laid to rest properly. Give her brothers closure. I'm going to tell you, all of these old people who, in my opinion, corresponded together and went against this little girl. They all corresponded together behind this child's back to in my opinion, to destroy her. Who in the hell does that? Who in the hell gets together and plots and plans against a 5-year-old innocent little girl instead of getting her the help she needs? Who does that? They really truly need to tell what happened to this baby. Oh my gosh, I got Andrew in the back. Okay, Andrew, what do you want?
Well, I ain't gonna argue with you. You bring up some good points here and there, but I can only tell you what I know. It was only 6 kids when we went down. And if anybody wants this BS to go away, it'd be most of the people that live on the hill, plus myself.
Well, then why don't you guys start stepping up and telling the truth so it can go away?
Darling, if anybody knew anything, the police would already know.
You want it to go away without this little girl. You want it to go away without this little girl being found, so you all can walk away. The way the plan was.
Okay, hold on. Walk away from what? Walk away from what? Nobody's hiding nothing. The police, everything that needed to be said was said. The police know, and the police said, okay, well, this is, what can we do besides keep looking?
Well, personally, well, I'm going to tell you what.
I mean, a
I,
lot of people got opinions.
I
Yeah, it is what it is.
I personally think that you're hiding the true reason that you went into Tennessee a few months before summer disappeared.
No,
Because
I'm
out
not
of the
hiding the
kids, you
real
had
reason.
19 kids and 6 to 7 adults with
No,
you. And how in the hell
I
are you
had
going to
6
bring,
kids.
how could you fit furniture in that truck if you got all them people in there? You
I
you go
only had
you don't go
6
to no
kids.
house. You didn't go to no house. You went to a damn storage shed. And that's where
Yeah,
people
we
unload.
went to a
People
storage shed
unload
to
people.
unload all of our stuff from our house. And then we went to look for a hotel, and then we all said, "Fuck that, we're leaving," because we weren't paying twice the price for for 2 hotel rooms when we didn't have to. So we took our money and we came back home, where we knew we would be all right.
Why, if you knew you had to go back home, why would
We didn't.
you,
We made
why
that
would
on.
you
We
pay
made that
for a
decision.
U-Haul?
That decision was made on the fly, and we took a Penske down there when we moved out of Gloversville because we had
No, no.
our house with us
Why would you rent a storage unit? Why would you rent a storage
because we
unit
weren't
if
going
you
to
were
drive
going back
around
to New
town with a
York?
full. We weren't gonna because we weren't gonna take everything we owned to a fucking hotel. We figured we'd get a storage unit, store our shit there, take only what we needed for a few days until the house came through. Well, the house fell through, and we're like, fuck that, we're not doing this.
Well,
And then we came back to Gloversville.
that ain't the story you told the first time. The
Well,
first time you said you went all the way down there to pick up the
we did.
keys. The guy had no keys to give you. That you guys got a storage unit because the truck was expensive, and you was going to stay in a hotel and then get another truck to go back into New York with. And now you're
We know the same truck we left in New
saying,
York, the same truck we took down there, the same truck we got from here in New York is the same truck we took down there and back. Just like the same van we got from up here in New York, we took down and back.
okay, so you know, there you go. I rest my case. You didn't get no damn storage unit and turn in the
Yes, we
truck. 'Cause
did.
if you'd have got a storage unit turned in the truck, you wouldn't have got the same truck back. They'd have given you a different one.
We had the same truck because we kept the damn truck.
And so if
We
you
had
kept
it
the
for
truck,
4
then
days.
you wouldn't. So what was you unloading in the storage unit?
We
If you kept
unloaded
the
all of
fucking
our house,
truck,
household goods, all of our house, our whole apartment. We unloaded of what we took.
dude, I just kicked you off. I'm not going to sit up here and listen to your fucking lies because you're lying. Get the hell out of here. I won't tolerate lies in the freaking case of Summer Wells. I will not listen to lies. Actually, I won't listen to no lies in any child's missing case, but especially Summers. I will not listen to it. You just sit there and you just motherfucking basically confirmed what I've been saying. You basically confirmed that you're a damn liar, and that's exactly what I've been calling you. And you are. Now you come up here and you tell a whole different story, because before you said that you was getting the storage unit in order to turn the truck in, and then you said, oh no, we kept the truck. Well, there would have been no reason to be at a storage unit, right? You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You guys went down there on some shady fucking shit. And Allison was right. She was trying to tell on you. She was trying to tell that what you were doing was obviously human trafficking, in my opinion. That's my opinion from what Allison told on you. And you come up here on my panel and have the damn audacity to lie. I ain't going to be listening to that shit. Hell to the no. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Don't come up here and try to play me for a fucking fool. I'm going to tell you, if my mommy and daddy had one, it's got to be one of my damn siblings, because sure the fuck ain't me. Okay? There you go. Now you guys heard him. You heard him come up here and try to bullshit us. You heard him come up here with some faulty ass shit and try to bullshit us. And you heard him say, we kept that truck 4 days. Then what the hell was they doing at a storage unit? We all know that something shady as hell was going down at that storage unit. And we also have found out tonight that Andy Bernard and him are definitely connected. They're connected. Right there. Email me. Email me. So this mother freaker obviously has his email and Andy knows it. Busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted. That's all I can say right here. These people are all in cahoots. And I'm going to tell you something. An innocent 5-year-old little girl paid the price of it all. She paid the price of it all, you guys. And I'm going to tell you, there's a special place in Hades. I bet you 10 to 1, there is a special place in hell for people who do such horrible things to a 5-year-old little girl. Who in the hell sits around and contemplates against a 5-year-old child? I don't even know. But then again, I don't know who would sit around and be trying to, sedate and allow little children to be touched. I don't know who the hell would do that either. But obviously these people do. According to Jodie Sue. According to Allison. According to Allison's mother. I'm going to tell you, this is a network. This is a network of people. Very evil, very sinister. People. Who know people who do a lot of evil stuff. They drive big trucks with 19 kids. 7 adults. It looks like 16 of them, maybe a couple adults, got left behind. Jose ran like hell. I think he got his. And he ran. Ran right up there to Candace's. Hung around. Started getting low. Started running low. Got himself a job. Planned on hanging around for a long time because he was, living a good life free. Until he got attached. He got attached to these little kids up there. He got attached to Summer. And when he saw what was going on in that shower and told Candace to get her out, all hell broke loose. Right? All hell broke loose. And he got ran off. He got ran off. If you ain't going to be one of them, if you're not going to be one of them sick bastards, you're not welcomed. Right? They only want sick bastards like themselves hanging around. The ones low life enough to join them. And they had quite a few that was willing. Quite a few that was willing. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that there's so many folks willing to join up with a group of evil people and follow them into Hades. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because the Bible says that hell will need to be broadened, right? It absolutely says that hell will need to be broadened. There's a whole lot of folks going to go to hell. So I'm not shocked when a whole lot of folks are willing to do evil. Don't shock me at all. Oh yeah, they stick together. And you plainly heard Andy say that it was Chad stalking us up at the cemetery. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard him say it was Chad stalking us up at the cemetery. And what did Hunter say? It was Andy saying it's done. Andy sent a message to Candace. It's done. Well, of course it's done. They had the grave opened up, right? It's done, meaning the grave is dug, and he'll be meeting up with her to get everything else finished up, to get over there and get Summer obviously down in that grave. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And why law enforcement ain't getting on it and looking in it, I don't know. But you got some number one suspects, some very evil people here, networking together, in my opinion, against little girls, little innocent children that have every right to be a child. Do they understand what being a child is? Do they understand the rules of being a child? Being a child means, perverts, keep your hands to your damn self. You don't touch children. You don't sedate children. You don't use and you don't abuse children. You don't force yourself upon them. Children have every right to run and play and be a child and enjoy life just like them dirty, low-life mother freakers got to do. They had every right to be left alone and decide for themselves when they wanted to start holding hands. Decide for themselves when they wanted to date and go out and start seeing the opposite sex. Children should be left alone and allowed to be children. I do not think that a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old child wants anyone touching it. They don't like boys. They don't like girls. They just like being a kid. They just want to go to school. They want to play tag. They want to color. They want books read to them. They want to eat and drink, and they just want to be happy. They want to watch cartoons, play game machines. They just want to be allowed to be a child. They just want someone to love them unconditionally, watch over them, and keep them safe. And that's what parents are supposed to do. Being a child is being allowed to go through grade school. It is supposed to be being allowed to go into middle school and high school. And it's supposed to, it's up to that child if it wants to be a cheerleader or it don't. If it wants to play an instrument or it don't. What it wants. It's that life belongs to that. Summer Moon Utah Wells' life belonged to Summer. Her life belonged to her to live and do what she wanted with it. Her parents were supposed to keep their hands off of her, protect her, watch over her, make sure that she stayed healthy, wealthy, and fit. And they were supposed to listen to her dreams and help her achieve them in the future. And she had every damn right to graduate grade school and middle school and high school and college if she wanted to. And to marry and have a family of her own without anyone violating her or doing anything to her or destroying her in any damn way. It wasn't their lives to be taken, it was hers to be living. But them mother freakers thought that they had a right to do whatever the hell they damn well please, and they still feel that way. These people think they have some right. They're overbearing, worthless garbage, evil trash that think they have some kind of damn right to forcefully take whatever they want and destroy whatever they want because they can. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Law enforcement needs to step the hell up and show them they can't. Society needs to step up and show these evil bastards that you can't. I'm going to tell you, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of courage. He gave us a suit of armor to stand against evil and put it down before it puts you down. Evil goes around and they do not build up, they destroy. And it's up to the righteous people to make sure that nothing gets destroyed. We're supposed to be standing up and standing strong and letting those evil people understand, no, you can't. You might think you can, but bring it this way and you'll find out you can't. Being a Christian doesn't mean being weak. Jesus was meek, not weak. Remember that. There's a big difference in meek and weak. And I'm not going to tolerate Andy Bernard's bullshit, and I'm not going to tolerate Andrew's bullshit either. I'm going to tell you, I think I proved the case tonight that these mother freakers are all a network. They're all in it together. I think I proved the point tonight that they lie and they work together against a 5-year-old innocent little child. God have mercy. God have mercy. That child was just a baby. Just a baby, you guys. A beautiful, blonde-headed, blue-eyed little girl that we all wish we had. Like little Quentin. We all wish we could have had him, right? Man, we'd have gave him the world. The sky would have been the limit for these children. But they were born into evil, into pure evilness, and destroyed by it. And that's my opinion. I will keep it. I'm going to tell you right now. In my opinion, Don and Candace and Candace are guilty as fucking hell. And after hearing Jodie sue and hearing Allison, I think all them mother freakers guilty as fucking hell too. I think they all a bunch of guilty son of a bitches plotting against little defenseless children. Really? Are you kidding me? Little bitty defenseless children. And I gotta say, I'll tell you this. Candace, Donald, and Candace, they're more fucking evil. They're more fucking evil than Andy and Jodie Sue will ever be. Oh, Jodie Sue and Andy's evil. I truly believe they're evil as hell. But they ain't as evil as Don and Candace, because I'm going to tell you what, Jodie Sue and Andy wasn't willing to destroy their own. They sure to hell wasn't going to destroy their own. They was watching over their kids. Jodie Sue, man, I'm going to tell you, she was a damn mama bear when it came to hers, and a wolf when it came to other people's. That's my opinion. But Don and Candace, they were fucking wolves. They were wolves with their own. And that right there, that's more sinister than any. They didn't even have fucking brains enough to at least take care of their own. Protect their own. To watch out for their own. You're real disgusting when you're that damn disgusting. Just saying. I close my case here. I'm going to tell you, I could go on. Boy, I got enough content tonight to mop the floor with these people. With these evil, ugly, lying human beings that are nothing but a waste of skin and bone. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to go any farther with it because I've done proved my whole point of being here tonight. I'm going to tell you something. Summer Moon Utah Wells has one hell of a damn good army behind her. She has one hell of a good army behind her. And we are not going to stop until we get the answers we need for her. God be with her. And God bless her. And I know God's with her. I think this is a very, very sad case. A very sad case. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think my brownies was enough to handle this kind of trauma tonight. So I'm going to ask everyone to pray for Summer Moon Utah Wells, as I always do. I won't ever leave without asking you to pray for her. I know from our lips to God's ears, through his Son, Jesus Christ, he is listening. And I know God is slowly but surely answering. We are learning more and more every day. He is pulling it to the light, and it will be completely exposed at some point. And I'm going to keep praying, and I know you are too, until it is. We want Summer found. She deserves to be found. And these evil beings deserve to be prosecuted and put in prison. Because if you are capable of plotting against a 5-year-old innocent little child to keep your ass out of prison for dirty, evil deeds you've done, then you are capable of anything and you have no business in our society. So keep those prayers going up for this little girl. Because PG, let me tell you, forget the brownies. I just need the goody good shit and a cigar. All right? That's what I need. So I got to go. I got to go visit my patio and see if I can get past this one. Because I can feel the hurt and the pain and the sorrow and the misery that Summer felt. I can feel the betrayal, the fucking betrayal of these evil beings against her. And I think all of us can. I think we've all had people betray us, hurt us, disappoint us, maybe even destroy some of us. So we know what that feels like. And this baby's only 5. She's only 5. And for a lot of us, we know what that feels like too. A lot of us has been abused in so many different ways, very, very young. So we can relate to what this little girl went through. And unlike us, she wasn't lucky enough to make it through. The people surrounding her was way more evil than the ones surrounding us. They were willing to completely destroy her. And that's as evil as you can get. So send those prayers up for this baby. Send them up for the rest of these missing children as well. Sebastian, Michael, Vaughn, Jack and Lily. And there's so many more. Every second a kid comes up missing, it seems like. Let us pray for them. And pray for one another, you guys. Everybody needs prayer. Everybody needs prayer. But you heard it yourself tonight. You've seen it with your own eyes. You've seen the people come in here. You've seen the 2 main characters come running in here, trying to bullshit us even more, trying to gaslight us even more. And we ain't going to buy it no more. We're not buying it no more. Why? Because we fucking don't have to, right? We don't have to. Ask them, how does that feel? Right? Ask him, evil bastards, how does it feel to have the table turned? Absolutely. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.